Howdy folks, this is Shane. I wanted to share with you a couple little tricks regarding some Delta Blues fingerstyle stuff that I've picked up over the years and that I played on a recent amp demo that I did. It seemed to get some pretty positive feedback, so I thought I'd share with you a couple of these little shapes that will help you get through maybe some of the Delta Blues stuff. If you're playing on your own, you want to get a pretty cool and full sound, this will definitely do the trick. So if we're in the key of E, so open E here, might go to neck pickup, I try to start with a particular type of rhythmic idea. Something like that. So that'll be the tempo. So I'm going to break that down for you today and show you a little bit about how easy this actually is to play. Now the only hard part is about getting independence from your thumb and the actual lick. So you're going to keep that rhythm going. I don't always play it perfectly, but as long as I can get the lick on time, I usually try to keep the lick on time with what my thumb's doing. So that's the plan. Makes it a little bit easier to play both at the same time. You can absolutely practice this without your thumb to start with, and I'll show you this great little lick. So index finger on the 7th fret, middle finger on the 8th fret, and that is it. So you're essentially just bending up the 8th fret. And that is it. Now, I think I picked this up from Clapton or Buddy Guy or something like that. So the second part of that riff is easy. All you have to do is use the 9th fret on the G string. You can hear I try to keep the rhythmic quality of the actual groove going with my thumb. And now the other part of that I was playing, I go to an A. That actually sits over the E. So this is still the first chord, even though technically the 4th chord is an A, we're playing that sort of A shape over the E. It works really well. Then I'm just playing the G on the 1st fret and an open E on the E string. I think that's slightly out of tune, there we go. So that'll work really well over the E. There's a million different things you can play, and some of these are pretty cliche, and I put a video up about that years ago, or at least a year ago from now. And yeah, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to show you a couple of these little things that I picked up that seem to work really well. Now, it's always good to also play some chords. So on the A, I play this chord. So it's essentially an A, and I've got my middle finger on the 3rd fret on the E string. Then I'm also going to play the 5th fret with my pinky. Now you'll also notice I'm trying to keep the rhythm on the A. So to practice that, you can not use your thumb if you want. You can just go. Or you can mix it up and go the other way. That's what you want to keep going though. So those two ideas will work for pretty much the majority of the blues, and then I come up to the B, which is the 5 chord. a number of things you can do here, but I kind of like to emphasize that chord change. And all I'm doing, open A, B flat and B. I like the 9th chord. You can pick a number of different chords if you so choose. You can move that A thing up a few frets and play a B here. So you can experiment around with different chords, but the crucial thing is to try to get the timing right. So if you've got a metronome or backing track or a drum track or something, put something on just to try to keep your timing on, because the thumb is doing most of the work here, and even keeping the second part, which is this part, relatively simple, it's still going to sound great over the groove. Now you notice there, because of how complicated the coordination needs to be to get that right, I double timed my thumb in time with this lick. But it still works because it's the same timing, just doubled basically. I got a note added in between each of the actual notes. That's all that is. So nice and simple. Now the best thing to probably do is to keep it as simple as you can when you're first starting doing this finger picking stuff, because it took me quite some time. There's a really great song from Eric Clapton from the In the Cradle album called Drifting Blues. I love that song. He does a lot of that sort of... So you can essentially just mix it up with different feels, different licks, but start simple and you can work your way up from there. Now, I've tried to keep that as simple as I can just to show the concepts behind this, as well as a few little licks and chords. So I guess the takeaway from this is don't be scared to try some different chords. Don't be scared to throw in some licks, even if you have to release the groove from your thumb. And I'll show you a good example of that. Say on the turnaround, we come to the B. Now I think I just did a little bit of a John Lee Hooker there. I took a 12-bar blues and turned it into about 13 bars. So don't be scared of that either. If you're playing on your own, you can get away with it. It's kind of fun to throw in an extra bar from time to time. Robert Johnson also did a lot of that as well. He was arguably the best at that type of style of playing. It was almost like his hand had, you know, two hands in there. The amount of independence he had when he could do his stuff was amazing. While this is more of a concept video than a straight up lesson, I thought I'd share with you a little bit of how I go about thinking about Delta blues stuff, and just trying to keep that thumb going has always been a really hard challenge for me. It might not be as hard a challenge for you, but over the years I've started to get the feel for it, and it's just something that you've got to sit there and practice. It works great on acoustic too. I obviously don't own an acoustic guitar, so I'm playing the PRS. Anyway, thanks guys. I will catch you soon. See ya.